Johnnie, and with me I've got DJD and Farmer.
Oh my gosh,
Hey,
what?
hey, back
I know
from
he's here,
the
and
dead.
I just wanted to say we're able to afford. Well, and hold on, I'm so sorry. And we got Craig sitting there in the back. What's up, Craig?
I was going to say, don't forget Craig.
Yeah, Craig, he's been here every single time.
And well, not every time. We have had Giark.
Every single time this year.
That's true. That's true. We and the reason we're able to the reason we're able to afford Farmer is because this episode we're gonna start running ads, right, D? You're just gonna
That's
get
actually, man, I mean, I don't want to spoil things, but we might start doing that next season. Okay. Look,
Hey.
we want Farmer on more episodes, and so we might be forced to run ads. I
Yeah.
mean,
I just want to point out last episodes. I was actually there. I think if you listen really hard, there was probably breathing in the background or something like that. So I was actually there, but David was 15 minutes late, so I blame David.
for the record, that's 15 minutes. Okay, that's like a single YouTube commercial. Okay.
Yeah, but think about this: 15 minutes more into almost asleep is asleep.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. So we started this kind of coming in. Farmer, would you like to recap what we were talking about in this thing that you're unhappy about?
I'm not a big fan of ads in general and like streaming services, but we've got this news about Xbox bringing ads to cloud gaming, and I just don't like. I get that they're trying to like bridge certain gaps to bring it to new people, but the thought of playing a game and then all of a sudden being interrupted by ad just drives me crazy. I just couldn't handle it. And I don't know. And maybe that's the whole thing. They're trying to push it. So, okay, you test it out and then automatically upgrade, from there. I don't know. Whatever it is, if I had to play a game that I was really getting into, really any game, honestly, and it was interrupted by like, I don't know, a 5-minute ad or something like that, that would drive me up the wall. I might throw my controller, which I don't usually rage or anything like that, but that might bring me to the brink of destruction. I don't know.
But
Hey,
I
so
don't understand how this is supposed to work. So you're playing a match of Fortnite, and then like you're in the last two, and you just an ad pops up and you get killed. That's how it works. You have to watch like a 30-second ad.
I don't know. I
I'm-
guess
I'm really
maybe
confused.
so there was an announcement in October of last year. They were working on a free version of cloud gaming, which still isn't out yet. That was essentially going to be you watch 2 minutes of ads and then you play your game for like, I think it was like 1 to 5 hours or something like that, and then you would get like another like ad break then. So it would almost be like that timer that like parents can set on their kids for like limited play,
Mm-hmm.
but like that would be preceded by an advertisement you would have to sit through.
I don't. Okay. Okay.
And so it looks like why this is coming back up is it looks like people have spotted like a pop-up that says that ads are coming soon. Like 1 hour of ad supported playtime per session or something like that. So that might actually be the that exact same program, the free cloud gaming, like where you watch an ad and then you play the game for like X amount of time, and then you have to watch another ad to get more playtime.
Okay. So before Farmer burns the podcast down, well, I have a comment and a question, and I'm not sure which order I should do them in. I guess I'll do the comment first. I've not seen good ad implementation, really.
No,
Right?
I have
So
not
like
either. Yeah.
my sister-in-law has Disney Plus in America with like the ad version of Disney Plus, which blows my mind. In Japan, we don't have this tier. I want to throw that out there. There's no ad tier on Netflix or on Disney Plus. There is one on Amazon Prime Video, though. They have like an advertising tier. But in that defense, I think that it's relatively fair because Amazon Prime Video is a service that's bundled with other stuff, right? Like, really, you just have Amazon Prime, and they've added on this whole other service to give it value. And so, I don't know. It doesn't bother me as much because I'm not actually paying for Amazon Prime Video. Does that make sense?
Sure. What annoyed me with that was the implementation of it for people who already had Prime Video was that like there was no notice or anything. It was just like, oh, starting next month you need to pay $3 extra a month
Yeah,
to like get
sure.
ad free. Which like if that had been bundled in like the amount that I pay for Prime per year or whatever, I think I would have been actually more okay with it, even if that's
Right.
like what $36 or like 3 times 12. So, like I think that would have been more palatable rather than
Yeah.
just like essentially kind of taking away something that I
But one
already
of the
had.
things that bothered me with this Apple or the Disney version is it didn't matter what we watched on Disney Plus, it always started with a 2-minute ad break. So sure, if you're watching a 2-hour movie, that makes sense. But we are watching like some of those like 8-minute shorts they have on there. And to
Sure, yeah.
watch an 8-minute short with a 2-minute ad break felt really intense. And then
Well,
after a
yeah,
certain
that
amount
would
of
just definitely
time,
distract you, you know?
it would just stop the movie without
Yeah.
much of a warning. Like there's no ad break warning or anything. The movie just stops and it would play a 2-minute ad. And I didn't love that. So it's hard for me to imagine and you know who else didn't love it? My daughters. My At the time my 2-year-old daughters
Yeah.
hated
It's
this.
like, wait, this isn't the movie, you know?
And
I mean, if
yeah,
the kids catching on to that, they're like, that tells you something. One thing I don't like that Amazon, again, going back to kind of what Dave was saying, one thing that they have done that I didn't like I knew that they did the whole process of like changing over to the ads and everything. One thing after I did upgrade finally, after I just couldn't handle it any longer,
Yep.
one thing that they still do, you go into a new movie and they're like, "Do you want to watch this ad?" They will still put you through an ad unless you skip it. That frustrates me. Even though I have bought the premium version,
I
of
haven't
the package, he's like, here's an ad anyways. It's like, no, take them all out. What's
I
the point
haven't
of this?
watched
Yeah.
anything on Amazon Prime Video since they've started this. And I wonder if I'm gonna just pay. Like, I know I kind of want to watch. I haven't watched Wheel of Time season 3, Rings of Power
Neither have
season
I, and I
2,
need to. Yeah.
or
For
Fallout
both
season
those.
2 yet. And so
I did
with those,
watch
am I gonna end up
Wheel of
paying
Time.
or not? I don't know.
I did watch Wheel of Time. I've watched like one episode of Fallout. I need to get back to that. But yeah, I'm kind of far behind on some of that stuff. But
But
that thing kind of that annoyed me. I mean, I get it's still like advertisement of like things I might like, but at the same time, no, please. I
Well,
clicked on this to
and
watch it.
theoretically, isn't that what ads are supposed to be anyway? Is things you might like generally? Like, I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
But what I
yeah,
don't
yes
get
and no.
though, what I don't get is how is this supposed to incorporate well in gaming? And you laid out, okay, so you're gonna get like an hour, but there's no way that it's gonna work well, right? There's no way that it's gonna be that well implemented either. Because like if that's
Right.
how Disney implemented their ads, like surely Microsoft is not gonna do better,
Yeah,
you
blocks
know?
of
Right.
every 20 minutes. I was like, oh well, I'm dead now. Everything I
Well,
built
like
was
I don't
destroyed.
think it'll be that. I think it'll literally be like an like essentially like kind of like the lockout, like, hey, your time is like about to expire or whatever,
Will
like
it,
you
oh, will it kick
and
you out of the Xbox
that's
server?
the question is like, oh, but like,
Ooh.
yeah, I don't know how that's handled in terms of the Johnny might actually have more uh knowledge of that because he uses the parental timers.
Yeah, it blocks you out. Yeah.
Yeah. Does it like do it instantly or is there some kind of countdown or like,
There is a countdown. There
okay.
is a countdown and it tells you about it. And then you can, when it finishes and it like blocks you out, you can request more time. Which, if it's going to be on the back of that system, that would make sense. But on the flip side of this, nobody likes ads, all of that. But it really, is this a bad thing for people who don't have Game Pass and they want to try it, but they don't want to pay for it, right? Do they want to try it with ads and see if they like it?
It might be a better thing than you think, I guess. But
I
again,
think
like
I
for
think
demo purposes,
I
yeah.
think right now the conversation around cloud gaming is pretty bad. It's pretty negative, right? In general, despite the fact that like cloud gaming has gotten a lot better. It's not perfect by any means, but it's gotten a lot better. NVIDIA GeForce's cloud gaming is like almost perfect in the way that it works, apparently, from like everyone I know who like claims to have used it. Like, I mean, it might be a thing of like, we need to convince people to try this for free because they're not going to pay for it. And especially with adding cloud gaming to all their tiers as an added value, quote unquote, I think that like no one considers it an added value yet. And so I feel like you do got to showcase that somehow. I just doing it with ads, which everyone despises.
Yeah,
I just don't
that's
know
the
if that's going
problem.
to
Bringing
engender like the most
That's what
positive
gets me.
goodwill.
That's what
Yeah.
gets me on something like this because I understand what they're trying to do to bring it to other people, but it's universally accepted that ads are just the worst. That's not a great way to bring new people to your audience. But that's just me. I mean, for other things that are like free apps and free streaming things that have ads, I think we've all used those and have accepted that. But there's a certain line. It's like, okay, are we dumbing
But
down our
on the other
our
hand,
brand to accept ads now? I get that everybody does it, and the more that YouTube
so
does it, and the more that
sure,
Amazon and everything does it, it gets me a little more frustrated. I'm more
it's kind
like,
of the
oh,
culture
ad
though.
blocker. I know,
Yeah.
I get it. I'm
And then
like ad block
also, like,
everything.
here's the thing too. If you don't pay for Turbo or subscribe to someone on Twitch, you sit through 3 minutes of ads usually to watch someone play a game for an hour. So why wouldn't you like sit through 2 minutes to play a game yourself?
That's a good
Yeah.
point. That's a
And
good point.
well, if it's and again, if it's a AAA title, I guess
If it's fun,
I guess it
I
makes
think
sense.
is
Yeah.
what it comes down to. If it's fun and you don't get cut off in the middle of like playing, like a game of Stellaris would suck with ads. Okay, like
Yeah.
that would not be good,
But
or even something
also,
like Starfield where you like get invested or whatever, or like man, we like got sucked into Void Train, which is probably a double A game, I would say. But I mean, like
Yeah, but
we
it was
spent like
good. Yeah.
hours in that thing, and it would have sucked to like, okay, well, okay, hang on, we've got an ad break, we gotta wait for 2 minutes, we probably would
Yeah,
have called
but
it, I mean,
yeah,
would it
might have
like,
cut,
called it,
or
but
would you jump on and be like, "Hey, I'll be on in 5 minutes," and stack up a certain amount, and then it's like, "Oh, so I watched 5 minutes of ads instead of 2 minutes of ads, so I have 2.5 hours of game
I would be
time."
kind of cool. I
I
would
wouldn't
kind of be
mind
okay
that.
with that.
It's like if you could choose to watch them on the front end, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
stack up some time.
Which
My
that
only
makes
worry
more
is
sense
too.
because it would be like, oh, like technically they're watching the ads, right? Like,
So
why wouldn't it work?
one of my concerns is that YouTube is currently trying these trackable ad watching things where like essentially they're trying to make sure that you're not just putting on the ad and then walking away or muting it or whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That you're still like actively like moving your
Where
mouse
they
around
open
or
in your
something, or
lens and
like
watching your
like
face
I
and
mean
everything.
I don't think it's quite that invasive, but it's not far
That's what it
from it
sounds like.
either. Like I mean
Right.
like and so like my concern is like if that thing becomes like more common and other companies do that, like that becomes really annoying because yeah, like I could absolutely, you know what? I'm gonna queue up my Xbox ad. I'm gonna walk to the kitchen, make myself a sandwich real quick or
That is
something, and then
literally
I'm
what
ready to
I'm
game.
thinking of
Like I
doing.
mean,
Go to
like
the
yeah, like
Oh
bathroom
yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
and
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 that's
come
the
I
back.
thing
don't
I
have
used to
to
do for
pay, and
what
I get 2.5
Xbox.
hours of like free cloud gaming. I mean, like that sounds like kind of nice when it comes down to it, especially if cloud gaming improves as a result of this. You know,
I've
but
done
like
similar things with Xbox rewards. I mean, why not? I mean, you can do so many different things to gain those rewards, and
right,
it's
but
great.
I think most of the Xbox rewards are now kind of locked behind Game Pass. I think they're like
Yeah, a lot
literally
of them
Game
are.
Pass
You
rewards.
kind of have to be
Yeah,
subscribed to even touch
Well,
those
and
Like I
things
think that's
now.
one
here's
of
the
the
other thing.
changes that they made.
Here's the other
Yeah.
thing that this is setting up for anyone who buys an Xbox or wants to do. Well, maybe not even Xbox because you could do this like online, right? But
Right.
right now, you don't technically have to pay for Game Pass, right? You can even play online games like Fortnite and Apex for free on an Xbox. And this would make it so you could technically not have pay for Game Pass and you could also play single player games for free,
Yep.
right?
Or like
That's on
also
cloud
like
gaming.
games you own on cloud is like apparently how some people discovered this was that they were playing games that they own on cloud and they got this pop up and it's apparently only it's not in place yet, but like that's one of the things they're testing for is like cloud gaming for like all games, not just Game Pass games.
So it's easy to not like this, but I will throw this out there. I do not necessarily see the harm in giving people the option to not pay for something and to watch advertising instead. As long as it doesn't affect the paid portion of it. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
it is annoying when you're paying for a service and then they're like, okay, we're actually introducing ads, so now you have to pay more to not watch ads. But if that's not what they're doing, if they're like, okay, we're actually introducing this different service, like, and it's an it's an ad supported service, but it doesn't change how much you pay for Game Pass or stuff like that. I don't personally see the harm in it, right? Like, I mean, that's what free television is, right? You watch
Sure.
commercials
Right.
to
Yeah.
watch TV.
And like what every
doesn't
streaming service is,
that
period,
annoy
when
you?
it comes down to it. Like,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, if it's for free, then you watch advertising, which we've talked about. Advertising on TV is a lot of time,
Yes.
right?
There's
What is
really
it?
a
is.
It's
ton
Yeah.
of
like
commercials.
18 minutes
Yeah.
for an
17, 18
hour
minutes. Yeah.
of programming.
Well, and
That's
I
a
think
lot.
that's where a lot of us have like come away from TV because how much it just like is invasive in what you're watching. Yeah, you're getting like what 40 minutes to like almost 20. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I
It's
think
pretty
primarily
crazy.
most of us came away from TV because we wouldn't have a choice in like picking what's on TV, right?
Right.
Like, I mean, like it wasn't
That
on
too.
demand. It was like a
Yeah.
largely like pre-programmed stuff. So you
You'd
just
have to
tuned
what
in at a
pay
specific time. you
yeah,
know?
well or pay-per-view or whatever, the
Right.
whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Like
Or
I
that.
never
Yeah.
really got
Yeah,
into that, but I
DVR.
heard about it. I heard about it. I
Yeah.
Yeah,
heard of
people
it.
who would record it. Well, and I mean, I grew up without cable, right? My parents, we had cable for just a couple of months and then they stopped doing it. So there was a lot of TV shows I didn't get to watch growing up. But so there was moving away from that. But like my son has never watched ads, for example.
That's
He doesn't
wild.
watch
That's
advertising because
crazy.
we've had
Yep.
YouTube Premium as long as he's been like watching YouTube, and he doesn't watch Twitch or anything, right? So he just doesn't see advertisements ever. And my daughters too. So like when we went to America and we had to watch ads watching Disney Plus, they were not about it. Right? They're like, "What is this?" Which for me, that was part of watching TV, right? If you're watching TV, hey,
Right.
there's commercials.
Yep.
But also, I feel like commercials aren't as cool as they used to be when I was a kid. Maybe I'm wrong here, but I didn't always hate watching commercials as much. I don't know.
Some of them are, yeah, I can definitely see that. Like some of them are, I feel like everybody's like pulling off of things that you see in social media anyways. And it's just like very, very much like almost TikTok-y,
I feel like
really in everything on all those commercials. It's like
I feel
very,
like
uh,
a lot less creativity goes into commercials. I
very,
feel like a
very
lot
Yeah.
more
true.
commercials are done internally as opposed to like using ad agencies to make them or anything like that. And I
Right.
feel like as a result, you basically just have like unpaid interns or like people at the lowest level of the company like putting together these ads, like hoping that someone clicks on them and then just blasting them everywhere. Right.
Well,
Or
and you just have
actually
a wider
direct
you have wider
employees.
access, right?
Right.
You have wider
Yeah.
access and you have
Yeah.
more targeting with online ads. So you don't have to worry about it so much. You're like, hey, we're
Right.
only serving these ads to people who like this. So like
Well, and it's that, or you either do like somebody who actually works there and it's like, okay, and they're using probably a lot of AI these days, guaranteed, or something like that,
Good Lord.
Canva, to make it faster, or you get an ad and you just have somebody who's like a paid act, like who's somebody famous, but still doesn't land the plane, it's just like their face and it kind of makes it work, but again, it's not very good narrative or for the commercial, just not as, I mean, every once in a while in the Super Bowl you'll still get a good one or something like that because that's when the big ones come out, but even
Right. Well,
then,
they
it's
pay
still
so
like,
much money for them, so like
yeah,
they better
yeah.
be good.
But even then, they don't always they don't always land. And
Well,
some of them are pretty
and let's
lame.
talk about that AI made stuff. Okay, so full disclosure, I use AI to write my social media posts, and I use AI to help with that, right? But my cousin used some service to promote her as a musician, and they did like this little write up about her, right, and posted it on social media, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, this is so great! This is so great!" It's not. It's terrible because they don't even take the prompts out from like Gemini or ChatGPT
Oh
in
no.
it, right?
Oh no.
So like the little things of like why it's this and that, when you have to
Right.
write it
Yeah.
and they like call to action, like those kinds of things, they left it in there and
Oh
like
That's
no.
in the
terrible.
images. It's so bad. I'm like, did nobody read this? Nobody. I don't
Nope.
think
And
anyone read
that's the
it.
problem. That's the problem is that I don't think AI in and of itself is inherently like bad. And we've talked about this before. I think there's obviously like job disposition like conversations to be had for sure. But I think the main problem is actually the over reliance on it, where like
Right.
everyone just just goes, oh, okay, well now we don't need anybody to like edit this or anything because we chat GPT'd it. It's like, wait a
And
second, no.
and it's like, you know what? Sure, but then like you need to read it yourself.
Right,
Yeah, listen
exactly.
to this.
Yeah. Just
So
double check it. Like, jeez.
Please double check it.
yeah.
Spell check. Look at it 3 or 4
Double
times,
check
please.
anything AI says too, because like that's the other problem with AI is that like AI gives you what you want to hear, not necessarily what's
Yeah.
accurate. So I mean, like
So
like
in the stuff, right? It brings up why she matters, and then it like adds all of this stuff. Connect and engage, be part of the movement, and then like there's like this whole separate sentence that's like follow. You know what I mean? Like you know what I'm talking about? Like how it like lays it out for you of like these
Mhm.
different things. Clearly, they just copied and pasted it, and it's just like what is this? And then like why are people liking this? People are liking and reposting it, and it's like this
Well,
is
and it goes to show
not
you how
good.
much people like will read the first couple lines and then not read the rest. That
or
is
just
very
like
common
yeah, or
too.
just like skim for things, Like I mean,
Yeah,
like
they're just
yeah,
like, oh, I'll like it, but I won't actually read it. I don't know how many times that happens.
Yeah. And
yeah,
like just double check it. So yeah, like people are using AI. Well, AI slop, right? It's just everywhere. And it's just
right,
like, what
yeah,
is this? And it's not even good. It's not even good. When I know that people know I'm using AI to write my stuff because when I was writing it all myself, it did not like it's not as good. I'm just going to be honest, right? Like the AI or not maybe not as good, but the AI makes it not quite as in the box as I used to be when I was
right,
writing
yeah,
something, right? Yeah, but you know what? I definitely delete all the stuff that it's like, do you want me to punch up this or do you want me to, I make it look like it should look when it's posted. Ridiculous.
But how
Ridiculous.
much time, yeah, on the flip side, does it save you? That's the trick. Like you can get, with creativity, it takes time versus,
okay.
using
I
tools
mean,
like this.
so
It can help supplement it, but it
Right.
doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be ever as creative. You know.
I
we're
just
we're we might
before we
be
go before we go too far, D, I just introduced to a friend because he was talking about, oh, don't forget to like get in arguments online with people that you don't know over opinions that you just formed 3 minutes ago. He likes to troll people. And I was like,
yeah.
I know somebody who what they do is they have Chat GPT write the argument. And then if someone does
Yep.
a rebuttal to them, they have Chat GPT do another rebuttal.
Yep.
And
I watched a
ugh,
debate where somebody got caught doing that. Like you could see like in their glasses or whatever the reflection of their screen.
oh my gosh. And
It was
I'm
like
just
you're in
like,
a debate, man. Like really like
the
what the heck?
internet is just robots arguing with each other for no reason. Just that like
Oh
I
my
mean,
god.
like
people making
dead internet
robots
Can
theory
be.
argue.
is like getting scarier and scarier when it comes down to it. Like, I mean, like ultimately they just need to cut out the middleman, which is the human. Like, I mean,
Yeah, well, and we're
Yeah.
pretty much doing that for them. It's like, okay, here's my bot fighting you. We're
right? Yeah,
pushing that. It's like
it's
there's
almost
there's a
like
guy
like those.
behind it, but
It's like those robot fights that like you would see like at MIT or whatever. Like they would
pretty
have
much.
like the two bots
I
fighting.
love those robot fights. I love that. Oh my
We're just
gosh.
we're just the Wizard of Oz, the wizard behind the curtain. Pushing everybody
Speaking of the
around.
Wizard of Oz, I just watched Wicked for Good this weekend, and let me tell
Right.
you, it's very different than the Wizard of Oz that
There
Oh
was
yeah,
I
I've
haven't
also
seen
that
watched
show.
any of them
I've seen
at the
both
moment.
Wicked movies, and The first one, okay, here's Johnny's review. The
Okay.
first Wicked movie was great, and it had all of the good songs. The second Wicked movie has a better storyline, but not as many good songs, in my opinion. Because really, it's
Okay,
one
sure.
story, right? And it's like
Yeah.
a part one and part two. So, like, story wise, the second movie, in my opinion, is way better, way more moving, more stuff happens as it concludes. But the songs in the first one, all of the good songs are the first one. Honestly, I would say there's
Oh,
only like
that's a
one.
little bit disappointing.
There's
Yeah.
only one really good song
But
in the
but
last one, in my
if it's
opinion.
all one film technically, then it's just the first half.
Right.
The first
Well,
half
I
has the
actually
best
want to
song.
do that. Bethany and I were talking about, my wife and I, of hosting a party where we watch both movies with
Like
like
back
an
to back.
intermission. Yeah.
Oh,
So we
sure.
like
Yeah.
start, watch a movie,
That'd be really
all have
cool.
snacks, we enjoy
Yeah.
it, do an intermission, eat
Let
a
me know
little bit,
when.
and
I'll be
then
there.
eat another one
Yeah.
or watch the next one. You know?
Speaking of movies, I went last night and watched Lord of the Rings in theater.
Oh, I didn't,
Oh,
and I
Lord
so
of the
regret
Rings. What
it.
is that? I've
Yeah.
never heard of that far.
Yeah,
What is that?
it's a new
Lord of the
film that
Rings?
just came out, and I'm telling you, the cinematography is just off the charts. Like you just
I mean,
don't
honestly,
get
it sounds
films
like
like that.
sounds like it's mostly AI generated, if I'm honest with you. Doesn't even.
It's probably AI written too, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe the
Just-
actors are AI too. I mean, we don't know. Like,
Yeah.
has
All of
anyone
those
ever
orcs.
seen like oh shoot, what's the guy who plays Aragon?
Vigo.
Viggo, yeah, Viggo Mortensen.
Wow.
Has anyone seen him
We're
in
ending
anything
this
else?
podcast. And we're
Oh
revoking David's
yeah.
nerd card right now. Jeez.
Wow. Just yeah. That's. But I was when we were watching it, like I've never watched the extended edition in theater because that came out after
Right.
everything, the theatrical release and everything. But seeing it, the whole thing, all 3 hours and 40 minutes of it, just like like the sets, the costumes, just I mean, I've always loved that movie and those movies anyways, but like seeing it again and just seeing all the other films that I've seen up to this point and then going back and seeing that on the big screen, it's just like they just don't make movies at that level very often anymore,
Well,
It's
that
just
I
crazy.
would say that's kind of the issue is that like so many movies come out now, you know, like it's not necessarily like I mean I feel like way more movies come out now than came out in the time that like Lord of the Rings hit theaters.
Oh
And
yeah.
so like I mean like
Or
when
not
it
very
comes
many
down to it,
fantasy.
like I mean like there's probably maybe possibly like the same amount of good movies per year, maybe a little fewer. But I mean like there's just so much that's like, not
So much
necessarily
that
nearly
gets
as carefully
lost in the
crafted.
mix for sure.
Yeah.
And
And
well,
Yeah.
also,
even on
I mean,
these,
well, and Lord of the
not
Rings is
very.
kind of unique too because that was a huge financial risk, right? Like that
Oh
was
yeah,
a huge
they were
risk.
talking
And
about
yeah,
that. They had this little monologue before they showed it, and he was talking about how we're doing 3 movies instead of 1, and we don't even know how the first one's going to do. I'm like that is crazy. That is
yeah.
crazy talk. Like nobody would take that risk at the I don't know anybody. Maybe 1 or 2 these days. I don't know. But you don't see that much risk anymore. It's like they want to bank on something. And I get that, everybody wants to make money, but the fact that they would, do that makes it just so more cohesive. They're shooting all these things, all these films all at once, and they're going back and they're doing Fellowship one day, they're doing Return of the King another day, going back to Two Towers, and they flip-flop and do it again. That's just crazy. That's crazy talk, but it's awesome all at the same time.
Well, that and talking about more movies and stuff coming out, like it's also I feel like, Lord of the Rings came out in a time where there was less of a reliance on CGI. And I'm
Sure.
not one of those people that's like, oh, CGI is bad, but it's really interesting when you watch movies that came out before like heavy reliance on CGI. And there's just a lot more dialogue driven shots. There's a lot more
Right.
stuff like that that's just like,
Yeah.
oh, like they designed this not for you to be looking at this crazy spectacle while they're doing this, right? It's very much to go back, and we've talked about this on the podcast, but like rewatching Daredevil and seeing, well, really all of the Marvel Netflix shows, like how much of this is about like 2 people in a room talking about what it is to be a hero, right?
Right.
That's so compelling especially over time, it's not flashy, but over time it's very compelling, as opposed to like having these big spectacles to look at all the time, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Or even when
and
they do have the
yeah.
big spectacles, like, I mean, Jurassic Park is a good example of, like, like, you don't see dinosaurs in most of that movie. Like, they show up like 15 minutes in or whatever, and you see them like occasionally throughout for the rest of them, but like they're not in every single shot the way that they are in like later Jurassic Park movies.
Right,
It's just, yeah.
right. No, 100%. And so like Lord of the Rings, it's special. It was something special for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Well,
What
and
good
they
movies?
hit it just about right,
I
because
feel like
not many fantasies were like it wasn't a big thing as much as it is now. Like how much, comes
well,
out like
to think about
talk
it, I think The Two Towers was one of the first big battle scenes ever put on that kind of a scale in a
Yeah,
movie
it
because of
was like the
CG.
longest, and then they beat their own record with Return of the King, and they made that one even longer. Of course, it's kind of split up, so I don't know. Two Towers might still have like the longest all in one
Well, but even just like
sequence.
the scale of it, the
Yeah,
size of
no,
it,
like the
it's
number
it's the
of
crazy.
like,
biggest.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the biggest, and
seeing the
that's
behind the scenes on any of that Two Towers or even Return of the King, I mean any of them really, it's just like it's just wow. It's like you it's crazy. You just to go back and see all the Weta workshop and then all the things that they did for the armor and how they did all the just by hand, all these things by hand or by models by like just all of it, outside of the CGI realm. Like there was some of the CGI, especially for I think Golem, more so for
mm-hmm.
him, but like just so much of it was like that old, handcrafted kind of style, which was gave it that authentic, made it more authentic, but it's just like it's really cool.
Well, actually, let's talk about that because I would use this. I would talk about Claire Obscure Expedition 33 in the same way, in the sense that when you see creative people like who make films or games, when you see them actually be really passionate about what they're working on, it's really incredible how much they can deliver with so much less money,
Yep.
right?
True.
And Lord
Yeah.
of the Rings is 100% there of like, yes, they had a budget and of course they had money, but like everybody who worked on that movie wasn't working on it for the money, right?
Right.
They
They gave
Right.
wanted to
their
be
all,
there
yeah.
and they
Well,
gave it
and
their
they
all
had
and
all
they
the
wanted to
people.
make something incredible,
Yeah, and
right?
he was actually even talking about that. He was like saying, all these reporters, I think, were wanting us to fail, so they'd be the next big story, and that just fueled them, fueled the fire.
Yeah.
And especially having to give up what they did to do those 3 films all together, they had to go live there for
Right. It
however
was
long.
Right.
years of
Years
Yeah.
their life.
and years.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to. Yeah, it wasn't just something that you could just like, oh, let's do it on a 6 months, period, and they go
Yeah.
back. It's like, yeah, it was a time
But
commitment.
but
I
you
think
can see it. You can see the care in the
right.
movie,
Yes.
right? You
And I
can
think that
see the thought
absolutely
that went into
matters.
it.
Yeah. Like I think if you care and you carefully craft something, uh ends up standing the test of time so much as you're not like overly reliant on like the gimmick of the day or fads or
Right.
whatever,
or
like
just making
if
that
it,
buck.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
like, well, yeah, but like, I mean, like, you can love something and like be like, oh well, this new like Unity engine or this new CGI like technique just came out and I'm gonna make a ton of stuff with this or whatever, and like it could look good in a moment, but will it still look good in like 15, 20 years? And most of the time the answer is no, it doesn't, right?
What is
Like
it? What is
I'm
it with
sure
pitch meetings when they're like, everything's going to look like a PS2 cutscene, and they're like, oh my
yeah.
gosh, a PS2 cutscene?
Well, like
No way!
I think the second Matrix movie is an excellent like
Oh
example of
man,
this,
why
right?
did you
Like I
bring
mean
that
like
up? Oh man, no, I
where
blocked that out of my memory.
I'm sure at the time they thought, "Hey, this looks awesome. This looks way better than anything we could have done before."
What
Like we have
second
all
Matrix
these
movie?
like
There's
Mr.
only
Smiths,
one.
like like coming out and everything, and like splitting out of each
No,
other and stuff, and it's like thousands of them, and they're all like
and like
combining together in
people,
like this
people
crazy.
aren't even going to know when Neo goes from from being the actor to the CG. People
Right,
won't
yeah.
even notice it looks so
It
good.
looks so realistic. Like, how many times have we said, like, oh, at the time, you know, like playing games, like, oh my gosh, this is so realistic. How could anything look like more realistic than this?
Right.
And then
We're
now
saying that
we
about
look
like
back
Call of
and it's
Duty, like
like
Modern
It
Warfare
looks like
1.
blocks. Yeah. Yeah.
it's
I
like,
love that.
man,
I
like
love that.
DK64, this looks like just like real life.
It is. It is. I love that feeling going back and then like, man, what was I thinking? You know? But at the moment,
Oh man. Oof.
where our mind is blown, you know,
But if you
by something
go
that we
for
haven't
like a
seen, you
particular
know?
like if you take the care to like craft it well and like actually have an idea for the style that you want and make that style consistent, I think that that goes a way longer way, you know? And especially if you have a good script. I think the good script matters a lot. Like, man, like I rewatched all of Spartacus to go back to the new season that just came out like what 10, 15 years later or whatever. And that is not a family friendly show, by the way, at all. That's a wild show. But the scripting in it is so good. The nuance of all the characters and everything, the way that like only certain characters know certain things, or they have certain ways of thinking that like kind of limit them in terms of like how conniving they can be or whatever, you know, like it's really really interesting. I think Westworld is another good example of that, where like just like the scripting is so good that I feel like that holds up over time, and hopefully
Yeah, no,
Fallout will be
100%.
that
It
way
really does.
too.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's the thing too. Going right along with what you're saying. If it's enough of a story, and again, if it hits the beats of the time, it will again transport you to a place like especially the games that we were talking about like early on, like even if the graphics weren't as good, it will transport you and take you your imagination to a place where it's going to be phenomenally better no matter what, and it will still have that it will still resonate with you probably for the rest of your life. You know, you'll have those
Also,
memories.
I don't
Right.
appreciate you saying like that it didn't look good. It looks good now. What are you talking about? What? No, it looks great.
uh,
Before we run out of time, I want to complain that the Steam machine still hasn't announced a price yet, and we're
I
supposed to be
know.
able to buy it in early 2026.
And
There's still nothing.
literally, I made the title of the last episode. Hey Valve, what's the price of the the Steam
Yeah,
box?
right. And they still
And
haven't even
they
announced
still
it.
haven't announced it. That was a direct like letter, okay, written specifically to them.
And I am not happy about it. I'm not happy about it. Like, why? Why have they not said anything? How much is it going to be? I need to know.
Yep,
I have
we do
recently
have.
fallen in love with my Steam Deck again, and I want to, like, isn't it crazy to live in a world where it's like, I just want to give them a lot of money. That's it.
But not
I
too
want to
much.
give you a lot of money for a device, please, that I can continue to give you more money over years of my life.
all right.
And they're
I
like,
found a leak,
no.
Johnny. I found a leak.
No, I've seen the leaks. And I don't want a leak. I want the actual
An official
announcement.
announcement. Yes, no, absolutely. Because
I
a lot
totally
of leaks nowadays too. The problem is that you can't believe half of them because like people are just making up things for clicks or using
well,
AI.
and yeah, using well, and I you just wonder also, is the developer just like letting them run with this too, like
Like
plenty of
setting
people
up
have
like
done
false
that too.
expectations or
Yeah,
whatever potentially.
or
Yeah.
just just to see people, go through the steps, go through the hurdles. That's kind of half the fun, I would think, on that end. It's like, oh,
Well,
look at
like
these.
I've seen all kinds of like leaks, quote unquote, about like what's going to be in the Xbox Developer Direct this week on Thursday. But like I don't
That is probably
believe.
something we should talk about, but
I
we
mean,
didn't.
I mean, like it's coming up. It looks cool. Fable
Time
will be there.
there's what?
We'll see
There's an
what
Xbox
else.
developer
I
delay.
mean,
What?
yeah.
I
There's
thought
an.
that Xbox is done. I mean, isn't
Yeah,
advertising
that's what some
putting
people say.
ads on cloud gaming? That's kind of like the last thing, right? Before they just close their doors.
Hey,
They're
but
like,
apparently it works for everybody else. So I mean, I guess maybe not. Everybody else is doing it. So
Oh,
I don't.
Johnny.
Yeah,
By the
I
way,
don't know.
specifically to you, since you now have Game Pass Ultimate. Although I don't know if, yeah, you should be able to have access to it. Star Wars Outlaws just hit Game
Oh yes,
Pass
it did just
Ultimate.
hit.
boom.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
Farm, do you want to
awesome.
hear like the convoluted Game Pass Ultimate setup I have?
I love
So
this.
Yeah,
first,
let's hear it.
so
Let's hear it.
first, because I want to have Game Pass Ultimate for my son, for him to try new games, right?
Mhm.
So this is pretty straightforward. I have Game Pass Ultimate, and then my home Xbox is his Xbox. So he has Game Pass Ultimate as well.
Yeah.
Right?
No, that sounds about right. That's what I do with my son.
But then I learned that he can't do cloud gaming, and he also doesn't get Fortnite Crew. I can do it, and I get Fortnite Crew, but he doesn't because I'm the one with Game Pass, right?
Mm.
So we do this for a little bit, but he plays on a like original Xbox Series S, so he only has like 300 gigs of memory, right, on the
Oh,
Xbox or
fun.
storage or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's rough.
And he
Yep.
he doesn't love it, but I'm also just kind of like, hey, like also, you know what? Listen, especially with kids nowadays, it's great for kids to have to learn something, right? And it's like, hey, yeah, you have to prioritize what games you want to play. You know, you can't
So
have all your
it's
games
so good
installed.
for them to learn that you just can't, go to the next game.
Yeah,
That
it's great for
drives
them.
me out the wall.
Well, actually, I think yeah, it's great for them to learn that like, hey, you know what? Like you don't actually play this game. Like take it off, right? Or like, hey, maybe you can't have all of these shooting games, like 5 different shooting games installed for the one time you want to play one every 3 months. You have to
Right.
choose which ones you want to play. But so I decided to give him Game Pass Ultimate instead because so he can use cloud gaming to try new games and then he can get Fortnite Crew because he also plays Fortnite. So that's actually kind of nice to get like the extra money in the
Mm.
battle pass and stuff like that. So now my home Xbox is his Xbox still, so he has access to all of my games, right? Like just non Game Pass games. And
Mhm.
then my Xbox is his home Xbox so that I can have access to Game Pass Ultimate and all that stuff. And I don't stream games or anything like that. I don't need Fortnite Crew. So we're playing each other's home Xboxes. That's how we're doing it now.
Crazy.
And
Crazy. But
yeah,
hey,
so
That's
it
like
works.
that
It's
sounds like a
like
DJD setup. Is how convoluted that
Yeah.
it
sounds.
really is. If you just get a few more of his outputs, inputs, and a few more of how he projects it,
you
you'll
need to
be
work
right
a couple
along.
splitters and switchers in
Yeah,
there. Yeah,
exactly. You'll be right along the same setup. No, next you just need to add a screen that you see his screen and then he sees your screen
and
just
share
like
the
at the corner.
screens
Yeah,
to
so
be
I
able to
just had
play
like
the
the
games
corner
on
so you
each
could
other's
just
things.
that would be great. That would be ideal. Well, and then it's hard because
Uh,
I'm like, oh man, if I get a Steam machine, where would I put it? And then like, if I get a Steam machine, should I let him use the Xbox Series X, kind of a deal, or should I let him use? And then I'll just use the S to play the random games I want to play on Xbox versus playing on like. There's a lot of thought going into it all, but that is my ridiculously unnecessarily convoluted setup. Like, oh man, I just don't love this. Don't love it.
yep, you definitely took a page out of the DJD setup for sure.
Look,
I love it. I love it.
hey, if I can get something to work, I can get something to work. All right. And yes, there's usually a simpler solution, but you know what?
But I will say this, it saves me $30 a month.
Yeah,
Right?
true.
Hey,
Yeah,
saves
yeah,
me
yeah.
$30 a month.
There you
So
go.
I'll take it. I will take it. But is there any other comments we want to make before we wrap up, D or Farm?
I don't think so.
Any
I think I'm
grievances
good.
that need to be aired?
I
Uh,
think
I mean,
we're
at some
good.
point,
I mean,
I'll keep on
I'm
repeating
still
this. At some
standing.
point,
I'm awake.
at some point this year, we'll do an App Awards. At some point.
Oh, an Ev Awards, right. The Ev Awards.
Well, yeah, that was last week.
Yeah, we thought about doing it without you, but we didn't. Yeah, next
Yeah.
week. Next week we'll do the Nav Awards. It'll
Nav
happen.
Awards. Get ready for
So
Nav.
make sure to like and subscribe, and go ahead and leave a comment over on Spotify and let us know which ad you got.
Use AI to do it.
Yeah. Bye. Get out of here, Craig.